And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
You reckon?
Like, there might be one guy who can melt stuff, and another guy who can fly.
And they'll all get together, will they?
Yeah, and another guy with stretchy arms.
Yeah.
Damn you guys.
The Fabulous Four. Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 9, Episode 12, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me I have a man who tells us that today is National Animal Day, so please take a moment to remember your ex. It's Mike McDonough. Live from Vegas, we have a man who this week thought he was having a bad day. Then he lost the straw in his Capri Sun. It's Sean Leonard.
Oh.
And in the red corner, it's our cuddly killer, a man who makes his dog watch animal abuse ads, so he knows how good he has it. It's Mark, superhero Leonard.
That was some rough intros, Jesus.
I know, it was pretty bad, isn't it? Yeah. This week, we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of, or a movie in the shape of The Messenger, and some TV in the form of Quantico and Limitless. Of course, we'll have some of the usuals, with the news and some previews, and coming to a bicycle near you. So how are we doing?
Fantastic,
Jeez,
Steve.
fierce tired, Steve.
Fierce tired. How was
I was filming all last night.
Yeah, how did the shoot go?
So I've done 2 days so far on Death to False Hipsters. Both very, very different scenarios where I learned a lot about why TV shows are filmed the way that they are.
Oh.
So we had one exterior scene
Mm-hmm.
that we filmed. That was my first day. So I'm all, I was told to arrive costume ready. So I was fucking ready, wearing my cummerbund and my bow tie and shit. I was ready to act like a motherfucker.
With a violin under your arm. Yeah.
Yeah. So the sequence we were shooting had a fair amount of moving pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was essentially, we were doing a montage, a series of date scenes between the protagonist and his lady love. So they were doing a bunch of those that I wasn't involved in. And then the final one was supposed to be like a big one where, I'm a violinist playing in a background. He's there strumming on his ukulele because that's the most hipster instrument. And then, the camera turns to reveal a picnic setting, and the main character's manager holding sparklers and looking very unhappy that he has to be here for this romantic moment. So they set up everything to shoot it from one direction, facing in towards the doorway of the house that the hero was knocking on. And then they had to move everything inside the house to shoot it the other way to get the reverse. Right. And then they had to there was a complicated dolly maneuver where the camera had to be slid a little bit along rails. And they needed an entire other person to be the focus puller, which basically means one guy moves the camera while the other guy focuses the lens. We also had a couple of different sound guys. We had a lighting guy in a tree. And because there was a big, huge fucking light weighed down with dumbbell weights and stuff like that. Because they wanted to get a light really high up to wash the whole setting. And it was just so much setup, and I was fucking ready. Okay. If I'm the guy that fucks this up, everyone's going to be
no pressure.
Oh, you fucking prick. But thankfully, there was very little to be done. It was a silent scene except for music that'll be added later. So we could talk if we felt like it, or we could have, our director could talk to us while we were doing stuff. We weren't picking up sound for the take that I was doing.
Right.
So we do the whole thing, and I'm like, oh. And then I noticed that the sprinklers are on next door, and I'm like, should I say something? Can they see that? Can they hear that? Is that getting in frame? Does that matter? Don't worry about it, Sean. Just don't look at the camera. Don't look directly at the camera. Yeah. It's fine. And then they went, oh, okay. That's great. All right, cool. We got it. And I was like, Jesus, that went very well. Exterior scenes have a lot of moving parts. Thank God no cars were driving by. And then we did an interior scene, which is basically, there was a lot less setup. It was a lot easier because there was fewer people on set. There was fewer things to do. Except now it was finicky because 2 characters were in bed. One was giving a monologue, which I pretended to be playing violin to. Can't actually play violin. You'll probably think I can once you see the film. And literally the main thing was somebody kept fucking up their lines, and they had to put the mic recorder in the bed. So if somebody moved too much, all the audio was lost. it was just like it was a really surreal thing of going,
All right.
this is what interior is like. There's no fucking room for anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
And the minutiae of it, like literally, if we wanted to record great sound, at one point I was just sitting waiting in the green room, and a guy comes out, goes to a clock, takes out the batteries, and fucks it on the couch because it was being too loud.
No
They were
way.
picking up the sound of the clock, and they have to turn off the air conditioning if they want to film inside because you can hear it. So it was just, it was very interesting. It was cool to see, but thus far it's going very well, and I'm learning a lot.
Cool.
And I actually had one person mop the sweat from my brow, so I thought I was doing real work. It was good.
This is what your future holds, Sean.
Oh yeah,
Mopping
I
your
won't
sweat.
mop my own brow ever again.
So when do we
It actually
expect
sounds
to?
like how I imagine they. It actually sounds like how I imagine they filmed in the 1500s. Like you had a guy with a rope who adjusted the focus.
When should we
there
expect
was-
to see this?
Well, it's day 5 of shooting of 19. It's a 19-day shoot, which is very jam-packed. So I presume post-production and editing, I don't know, a couple of months after that. It'll probably depend when and where they want to debut it in terms of what I presume will be a film festival. So I'll keep you posted.
Cool. Mike,
Mhm.
how's you keeping up with you there? You still with us or?
I am.
You are?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Zoo recently.
Oh yeah.
Up to episode 7, I think.
Zoo is the one with the creatures that do stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
The angry animals.
Angry animals, yeah.
Yes, it's all
Animals.
kinds of angry animals. So you got angry bears, angry birds, angry cats, angry
birds.
tigers,
Yeah.
angry bats. Lots of angry bats.
Really?
Yeah. Bats are aggressive little fuckers when they don't fear humans.
And so, like, what are they running the gauntlet? I know in episode 1 we saw the whole lion thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Well, as of episode 7, it's still kind of bubbling under the surface. There are isolated incidents worldwide.
okay.
So every couple of scenes they get to flash up the name of some place that they're going to be this scene.
Cairo. That's in
Cairo, Paris, Biloxi. But what they've done is they've put a team together. Do you remember we had some random characters originally?
Gotta get a team together. Yeah.
Can you imagine the genius of the guy who said, let's take these random characters and make them a team to fight these animals and find out what's going on?
Yeah.
So now they're a team.
Oh.
It's like something Louis Walsh would do.
Yeah. And of course, you know, every episode we got to get a little bit of backstory in there. You know,
Oh,
there's a quiet time where they can reflect and fill us in on, you know, just what a shitty childhood they had and
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
It's just never happy.
But the main takeaway I have from this series is now, you know, I wake up at night and I see my cat staring at me. And now I know for sure the little bastard is trying to murder me in my
Yeah,
sleep.
he's planning it. He's planning it. I saw him earlier. He was coming in with duct tape.
Yeah, he's not fucking around.
Is that what the little bag of lime is doing? Yeah.
There's even a small cat-sized shovel
Yeah.
out the back.
So you're up to episode 7. Will you stick with this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all bought into this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let us know how you get on. I saw Vacation.
Oh yeah.
You know, National Lampoon's Vacation.
The new one.
This is the new one with Rusty Griswold,
Okay.
who's the son, decides to bring his family.
Uh-huh.
Who was the slightly obese ginger kid in the originals, right?
Exactly,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now he's married to Christine Applegate,
Mm-hmm.
and they decide to go on a big long road trip, and you know, the various tomfoolery stuff happens as it does on a National Lampoon's Vacation, but it's very good. It's
Yep.
better. I wasn't expecting much from this, but
Mhm.
I laughed, and I laughed a lot, and I actually laughed so much that I was nearly crying. That's how much I was laughing. Like I haven't laughed at a movie, you know, really guffawed or just like couldn't stop laughing in I don't know how long.
What, like the little bit of piss sneaking into your undies?
Jesus.
Jesus, Mike. But it's the usual caper, you know. But the jokes are updated. There's some that are obviously for the adults in the audience, you know, that kind of way. But it's very, very funny, very funny.
Steve,
and I'd recommend it. Yeah.
Did they kind of do any new takes on old jokes?
Oh yeah,
Or-
they did. Yeah, for sure. You know the one they're driving along and the girl comes up in a Ferrari beside.
Yeah.
They did that one, but
Okay.
a slightly different take on it.
Right.
Even the car that that he bought to bring with them,
Mhm.
it's just hilarious. It's one you just got to see. You know that kind of way. Yeah, so.
Yeah. All right, I'll have to look out for that.
Yeah. I'd give it a strong 7. You know.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's very funny, very funny. I also saw a movie called Ride.
You're right,
Yeah. This is written, directed, semi-produced and starring Helen Hunt.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about a mother who travels cross country to California to be with her son after he decides to drop out of school and become a surfer.
Okay.
He is also a kind of a writery type person,
Mhm.
as she is, and it takes some interesting turns, and it's a very easy movie to watch, and it's Helen Hunt. You know.
Yeah. So that's why it's
Straight.
easy to watch.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. But it's it's kind of what I started watching. I started going, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, I keep watching it. And very good performances. Shot very well. Dialogue's really good. Story's not exceptional, but it's certainly kept me interested. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd give it a solid 6 for that one. Yeah. What else was there this week? The Muppets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Muppets are back. Yeah.
It's time to light the lights.
Yeah. So they're back, and this time it's set in sort of a contemporary TV show kind of setting, but it's a mock-you/documentary. So it's not only about their working life, but their personal lives. Each Muppet, like, you know, like their background and their love life, and like Fozzie is dating this normal girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're sort of up at the parents for dinner, and the dad's going, "Come on now, you know what the hell? You're not going to be able to have kids and this kind of thing. It's a bear. What's he doing? Do you like the fish? Did you pull it out of the river with your paw? You know, this kind of stuff. You know, and, he's getting all offended. You know, and all that kind of stuff. It's very funny. It's very well done.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy, I never really liked the character, but she's brilliant in this, and she's such a diva. She's so funny. Yeah.
Is it raunchy, Steve?
Raunchy, no, but it's certainly more adult than I remember it.
I heard some complaints on the internet just about that the tone is a little bit more risque than one would traditionally associate with the Muppets.
Maybe that kind of ties in with what I mean, but I wouldn't have said raunchy. There's certainly sort of throwaway comments that you sort of go, oh yeah, yeah. It's certainly more adult than it used to be. Yeah, but it still has all the old characters that we like and love and like. Yeah.
So it wouldn't be as raunchy, say, bastard executioner then.
No. But I'd recommend. I think if you ever like the Muppets, that I think it's been updated very well. In that you'll still find it hilarious, but not. It stands the test of time kind of thing, rather than going back and watching old episodes,
Yeah, I was kind of afraid to have a look at that in case they destroyed my childhood,
Yeah.
'Cause I fucking love the Muppets.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
Is Waldorf and Statler in it?
Oh yeah. They're in the audience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They're featuring it a couple of times anyway. In the first episode. Yeah. Yeah. Mark, you seen anything this week?
Oh, Steve. Brother Stag at the weekend, man.
Oh yeah, let that go.
I'm a broken shell of a man right now. So, my brother used to live in England. He's back home now, and he's getting married on the 21st of Christmas.
Oh wow.
Or December for other people. I just like to write off the entire month of December in that festival. So, firstly, let me just set the scene. So, every time we met anybody, of course, you go, oh no, we're on my brother's stag. This is him. He's getting married. And then people struggling for conversation always go, oh, when are you getting married? And he would go 21st of December. And then without missing a beat, I would go, it's the shortest day of the year, but that's not a metaphor for his marriage. And, initially it was like 0.5 of a laugh from those involved. But the second or third time, it was 0. Every time thereafter, it was stony-faced silence from my group. But I had a couple of drinks and I thought I was funny. So, and you've seen this in action in this podcast, Steve. I started getting faster and faster on the draw with the line to make sure nobody could interrupt me. So there were times when he hadn't even said the final syllable of December, when I was already going, it's the shortest day of the year, but it's not a metaphor for marriage. Smiling at my own humor. We watched a TV show, I think, a while ago, where a guy stood beside a painting because he had a bunch of jokes he wanted to tell people, and then every time the crowd changed, he said the same jokes again.
Okay.
Oh, it was. I give it a year. It was a movie. I give it a year. Yeah. And I was kind of that guy for a while. I was a lot of guys actually, but for the context of this story, I was that guy. I also marveled at a couple of things. The first is how the particular part of a city you're drinking in can affect the general good looks of the people around you.
Do go on.
So I started in metropolitan Galway in what has now been renamed the Latin Quarter, though I'm pretty sure there's never been a Latino or Latina anywhere near the place. But they call it the Latin Quarter now, and these are all like super pubs. You're 20 to 30 something professional people going in there, all dressed up to the nines, all very attractive people, many of whom would be, perfectly reasonably cast in an American TV show. And then my brother said, why don't we head down a bit further down the town and head out to a pub a little bit, away from this thoroughfare, from this hustle and bustle and all of these yuppies, which is a term that I think has gone out of favor now, but it means young, upperly mobile people. But anyway, and I am not joking when I say I thought that I was in something that was subtitled. Immediately, everybody was at least 2 points less good looking. Now, obviously, myself and my brothers improved the average. But I did at one stage turn to the best man and I said, "Listen, I feel like I'm getting less good looking just standing here with these girls wearing knitted caps. Can we go back to somewhere where people maybe care about their looks? If you pulled out a bottle of moisturizer in here, people would know what it was." So we moved anyway, to make a long story short.
Yeah. So they're all looking a bit ashy downtown, huh?
The further downtown you go, the ashier they get, Steve. You just have to pick your venue. You used to know your targets. Know your targets.
Very good. Very good. Sean, do we have news?
We do indeed.
Oh, great. Let's go to the news with Sean.
Nazi flags in Nice, France. So some people were understandably perturbed there a few days ago when a Nazi swastika banner descended from a palace in Nice in France, and everyone went, "What's going on? Or whatever the French version of that is. Où est le going on?" And everyone was very, very upset. It turns out it's for an upcoming film. It was a test for dressing the set for an upcoming film called A Bag of Marbles, which is based on a graphic novel about a very, very terrible man who, during the Nazi occupation of France, sent upwards of 100,000 people off to concentration camps. And there's also, it's not known whether or not he ever actually died. So everyone apologized, and everyone said, "Look, we did our best. We contacted various communities, including the Jewish community, like in the area, let everybody know what was going on. Apologies that the message didn't get out in time." So for anyone of our Nician or French viewers, I hope I've cleared that up for everybody now. Just a film. Everything's fine. Next up, we have Amazon. You guys remember, and maybe you've already talked about this on a podcast where I wasn't around, Top Gear. Remember Jeremy Clarkson had a bit of a punchy, and then they had a bit of a I quit, and now they're working on a new show.
Yeah.
So Amazon have paid, apparently, like a rough estimation, a rumored £160 million sterling.
Yep.
Whoa.
For the contracts of May and Hammond and Clarkson.
It's about $250,000, isn't it? 300,000, something like that. $250,000.
It's a lot of money, whatever it is. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And my favorite part about this story, and this is probably just Jeremy Clarkson et al. Having a laugh with everybody. There's a chance that the show will be called Gear Knobs. There's a chance. Like, it could be called something else, like Most Gear. Like, I'm not sure. But Gear Knobs is one of the purported titles that I've seen floating around. So those lads, I'm sure, are going to get away with a lot more raunchy extravagances than simply that title on Amazon Prime. Because I'm fairly certain they can decide whatever they want with regards to swear words, nudity, vulgarity, like, etc.
Netflix were talking to them, you know.
They were trying.
Yeah, Netflix just went, we can't go that far. Yeah, that's just, you know.
How many zeros?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How many of our producers do you want to beat up per year? Because we can only, only so many.
Yeah.
And then finally, keeping with the European theme, there was a record broken there recently in Britain for the highest grossing opening of an 18s rated, I guess in America that'd be an R rated, but an 18s rated British film. 20.1 million made in the UK by Legend, starring Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy.
Oh, right.
It beat out Trainspotting, which was at the £18 million mark. Now, bear in mind, this is completely just for British-made films, as films like Gone Girl, Wolf of Wall Street have all made more money in the UK.
Yeah.
But for a British film, this is the most that's been made. And unfortunately, for the Americans, you're going to have to wait until November 20th to see the film in action, which is quite a long gap. I thought that was a bit interesting.
Yeah.
That's a shed load of money.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
We'll have to let the Americans know if it's worth watching.
I think so too.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to have to stick that one on the list for sure. Yeah. Thanks very much, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll move on. We'll start with the first of our TV. Quantico. Mark.
Imagine that you had a bunch of attractive actors and actresses. Imagine that you needed a backdrop for them to get into love triangles. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the FBI training headquarters, Quantico.
Sounds like a cynical start anyway.
That was my synopsis A. My synopsis B was, imagine Grey's Anatomy was about FBI trainees rather than doctors. I give you Quantico.
Yeah, so what do we think?
You know what Quantico is missing?
What? Tell us. A hospital.
A lift.
Oh, a lift.
In Grey's Anatomy, they got so much done in lifts. Just had a row with your lover? I bet he's in the lift when you get in next.
They're always handy for a dramatic exit as well. Or entrance.
Yeah. Or thinking about having sex with somebody? I bet they're in the lift along with one other annoying person. So you can make sex me eyes. They need one of those in Quantico. Badly missing, I feel. Badly missing.
So what do you think of this, Mark?
Loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
It is categorically Grey's Anatomy. Like, it is so Grey's Anatomy, it's beyond belief. And it actually borrows tropes from How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, I was going to say that. I
don't mean to
nice one.
to steal your thunder, but it is the whole flash forward thing, and flashback, like they've been doing in How to Get Away with Murder all of the first season. They're doing it here as well, but it was good, right? So there's a flash forward to a disaster scene, and everybody knows the best episodes in Grey's Anatomy is the ones with disasters. So straight away, you go, it's like Grey's Anatomy, only it's in the FBI and there's a disaster. So, it made the whole characterization and the establishment and all the rest of it more weighted because there was an impending disaster that we needed to figure out. And, I think it lent a bit more interest into trying to understand all of the characters, than would otherwise have been there. They copied something directly from Grey's Anatomy as well. People probably don't remember now that Grey's Anatomy is on our screens for, is it 11 years? But, it seems like 100. Mm-hmm. But at the very first episode, Meredith Grey sleeps with McDreamy in a bar before she realizes that he's her teacher in the hospital.
All right.
Ah.
And it's all very awkward. And there is a lift scene about that.
All right.
But they do pretty much exactly the same thing in this in this opening episode. But for all of that, I thought there's a lot of really strong actors and actresses in it. It did feel a bit like Hogwarts for FBI agents at times.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that feeling to it. They had their different cliques. But to be honest, it's a pretty cohesive first episode. I think they pulled it all together really well. Now, I think my wife is going to watch this all the time. I'm not going to be running for the next episode myself, although I didn't think it was bad TV. But there's definitely one there for, if you like the kind of Grey's Anatomy kind of thing, or remember when Grey's Anatomy was at least passing good. This is probably up there. So I'll leave the rest of it to you guys.
Sean.
What did you think?
Sean, tell us.
I definitely see the parallels that Mark's describing, but I actually think this is really good. Like, not only is it going to get the audience that, Grey's Anatomy is getting, but it's also going to get the people who are like, let's solve this big conspiracy crime. Who can you trust? Fucking nobody. So quick, have sex with them before they kill you. I don't know. I really liked it. So the best quality of this episode and probably of the show, because I can only assume that they're going to keep up this standard and this format of storytelling. It is incredibly well condensed without feeling overly rushed. You know what I mean? Like, I knew exactly who all these characters were, even though some of them didn't fucking say anything.
Yeah.
Like, literally, one of the characters that's introduced in this doesn't have to say anything, and I know who he is. Like it was, and I know that they're using cultural norms, and perhaps also stereotypes a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
but like that, fine, it's working because they're not trying to say this is good, this is bad. They're not doing that. You know what I mean? They're like, for example, they have a gay character who, has a really endearing way of doing what everybody else is doing, which is making it look like he's somewhere that he isn't. And I love that all we have is a bunch of people lying to each other for a solid, 10 minutes of the show. Minimum, if not the whole fucking thing. I really appreciated that. I think it adds a great layer of tension and conflict. And I think that it manages to do it all in a way where it still has an internal logic. Like, it all still makes sense to me, both in the future and right now. And it's a really great idea that what they're doing is you need to, our main character, you need to investigate everything that went on during your training, because one of the people in that group is a terrorist responsible for this attack, according to an anonymous tip. I'm fairly certain that there's room for wiggle there, if this gets a second season. Yeah. But yes, I'm interested in that.
That's like a one night stand.
Room for wiggle?
An anonymous tip.
Oh God! Why do we both go different directions on that?
There's a virtual high five.
I'm trying to mic to drop.
But it's generally a great show. The characters that we have are all interesting. I'm generally interested in all of them. They do a very in-your-face thing of, okay, everyone go reveal your deepest, darkest secrets. Except the reason that it works is because it's other people trying to reveal them. And of course you would do that in the FBI. It's perfect for me. Episode 1. How many minutes before people have sex? It's 4 minutes. I checked. 4 minutes before the first sex scene. Yeah. That's well done. And something that in Grey's Anatomy, I believe, was a coincidence that Mark referred to. In this, isn't one. There's actually a reason behind it. So it not only creates tension on one level, but it also creates a tension in terms of character motivation that most of the characters don't know about. I'm a little worried.
Call attention to the way that I danced around giving away details of the plot, and you're just plunging right on in there. That is no way to have a one night stand, sir.
I also don't like, this is the only thing that I don't like, the teachers. I don't really care about their drama with each other.
Yeah.
So I'm positive it'll only be a couple episodes before one or both of the teachers start doing sex with the students.
Mike.
I'm very glad Mark spoke about this first, because he kind of crystallized exactly why I fucking hate this show. And because I hadn't watched Grey's Anatomy, I couldn't quite figure out why I hated this show that much.
Right.
And as soon as he said the words, it was,
there.
We reviewed Grey's Anatomy, did we not?
No.
No, we refused to watch it ever.
Yeah. Grey's lobotomy.
Yeah.
Was Grey's? No, Grey's is before the podcast.
That's right, yeah.
That's why it was already on before we started doing our Wiki Grey's.
I mean, had it started during the podcast, it would have been on the Meryl Streep list of the no watch zone. You know, such a paper thin shower of characters who are just there to have sex with each other. I've rarely seen, except maybe for Chicago Fire.
It's true. Yeah.
You know, they're just basically, you know, okay, let's get some diversity in here. So we got a black girl, we got a white girl, we got we need to have a Jewish character, but we'll make him gay too, because we've only got 6 main characters, so we've got to get as much diversity in here as possible.
I'm sorry, the show reflects the real world, Mike.
Well, there it is. It doesn't.
How doesn't it?
Because I looked up the FBI statistics.
Oh.
You prick.
Yep.
And?
Special agents
Yeah.
in the FBI as of 2011, the latest stats I could find, were 83% male, 81% white, less than 1% Asian American female, just slightly over 1% African American female. Not exactly a bastion of diversity in American society.
Okay, but
what's the thing, Sean, you might know this living in the States now. What's the thing where they make you hire people from different cultures?
affirmative action, you mean, or?
I don't know if that's what it's called. Something about representation, where, you know, you have to have like a certain percentage from different races and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think affirmative action is what makes that happen, but I think there are also policies that are just, you know,
Do you know what that's
you need
called,
to...
Mike?
I think affirmative action is
Minority Report. No.
For the record, I didn't say that.
It obviously doesn't apply anywhere to the FBI. Like, but anyway, go on, Mike. You were giving us a tremendous lambasting of this show that I want to hear continued.
So, you have a lead character, S, who is stuck in the middle of the shit at the end of it. And she's just spending the whole episode going, "Oh, I don't understand. And then her little, you know, feeble whimperings at her innocence and whatnot is then just the lead into yet another fucking backstory sequence. And, you know, after 20 minutes of this, I wanted to smash my head off the fireplace and hope that there was some toxic gases that would finish me off before I had to watch any more of this shit. You know, they're talking about tension. It's just horribly badly staged tension. You know, there's a Mormon character who has a very tense relationship with a non-Mormon character. And it's just so Beverly Hills 90210 high school fucking tension, you know, it's just...
Yeah. Is that your favorite show of this type, Mike? That's the one that you love?
Yeah, it just...
Did you want to work at the Peach Pit?
Well, maybe, yeah. I wasn't good looking enough to get in there, so I'm probably a bit bitter about that whole thing.
Mike. I don't think that was the reason. It's probably because you're wearing a mankini.
Well, there was that too, yeah, Yeah. So yeah, I didn't believe a single moment of it. I couldn't invest in or back any of the characters. You know, there was nobody like, "Oh, that's my guy," you know, go for it. You know, it was, like even there's an ex-Marine in there who normally, you know, if there's some kind of ex-Special Forces dude or something, you have to root for them. But he was just, do something.
Yeah.
You know, seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know. Steve, help me out here. Am I the only person?
No, if I could jump in.
Yeah,
Can I jump in, Steve, for 1 second, and I'll let you tear more strips off this thing. I don't know if you remember, but when we watched How to Get Away with Murder's premiere, my problem is a similar one to what I have with this show, is that when you start being trained for something, you're starting to be trained for something. You're not already like an agent or a lawyer.
Yeah.
And in How to Get Away with Murder, they presume that the people who just walked in on day one are able to more or less try cases, or at least know how to do it. And it's the same in this. Everyone in the room is more or less a secret agent already, but they just need to go through, you know, the perfunctory training that's given at Quantico.
What was it, like
the formalities, yeah.
8 weeks or something? Was it? Was something like that?
Yeah, and like the realities I'm sure are quite different. But anyway, I just wanted to make that point, Steve. Go on ahead.
No, I agree with both sides of this argument, actually. unlike me, to be on the fence. I know.
Yeah, how
No,
did that happen?
No, in that I enjoyed the caperness and interaction, and isn't this all pleasant and fun?
Yeah.
And then I just felt there was probably, like your issue, too many characters, too many backgrounds, right? Which it's not that I have a problem with it, it's just that it just didn't seem realistic. And you've actually proven me right in this case. And it was all kind of going okay until a certain someone who you'd think would be familiar enough with the judicial system or how it works seems very unconvincingly freaked out at being arrested.
Yeah.
Like, very unconvincingly. It was like, did you just walk in off the street? Or were you, surely you know something a bit how this works, you know? And they just fucking lost the plot. And I was like, well, that's kind of bullshit. And the person doesn't...
She only signed up to play violin in the background.
And the person just wasn't very, like I say, very, very unconvincing in the shock and horror side of things, even if they were that shocked and appalled about the whole thing. I just thought that was a bit, actually more than a bit weak. It kind of ruined it for me. And yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence. Too many characters, I thought. And like I said already, or like you said as well, Mark, it really reminds me of How to Get Away with Murder a lot in the face. Yeah. It's very, very like it. Even the setup of the students and the teacher and the character of the teacher is very similar, and you know, it's very, very close to it. Will I watch more of it? You know, I had planned on it up until the last 15 minutes, I think, of the episode. And then I just went, I see, okay, this is going to be bullshit. Yeah. No, it's going to be filler for me. I don't think I'll be watching more of this.
Steve, Steve, could I make a comment or two before we lash into the ratings?
Yeah.
I think that part of the reason that so many characters were introduced at the start, and then, you know, and I'm sure that we'll have more specific focus on some of them rather than others. I think that in the future, I guess, timeline, in the 9 months later thing, we may end up with two groups, if that makes sense. As in, we'll have a group in the future that we remember, you know, from parts of the earlier on time, and then focusing much more specifically on a group in the past area. Yeah. Like, I've got a feeling that they're going to want to, like, you know, do a team at both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure. It's bound to be a plot point. Yeah.
So it'd be like one part of the team gets posted to Marvel and the other to DC.
And the other thing is, just to talk a little bit more about the diversity in the show. Okay. I kind of think, I'm sure that in part is being done to appease a demographic thing. But also, if we were to say that it is improper for them to not suit the realism of the potential bias in hiring at Quantico, you know, I think that would be silly, right? I mean, you make a TV show about exceptional people and exceptional circumstances. And I also think it's good that they have a bunch of badass women and gay and people of varying ethnicity characters. And I mean, Mike, I'm sure that we'll be able at some point to find, you know, a show to feature an ex-Marine who happens to be white and really good at punching people and does that all of the time. Like, I'm fairly certain we're going to review a bunch of those next week and every week thereafter. I'm
so glad you mentioned badass. They said that it's supposed to be a mixture between boot camp and grad school. You know, these people are so fucking clean. They spend most of the episode either going to or coming out of the shower. I think there was one person failed a chin-up.
Just 1 minute, Michael. I can't believe that you're complaining about people entering and leaving showers. For Christ's sake.
It was in episode 1, Mike. You should be in, like, Flynn with this.
What happened to you?
I wouldn't normally complain, but there was no dirt in between.
And you're getting dangerously close to complaining about the levels of attractiveness in the cast. And everyone knows that is the most important thing in a TV show.
Damn you and your logic, Mark.
Just saying.
Mark this.
This is tricky, right? This is tricky. I am almost certainly going to osmotically watch more episodes of this because I think my wife is hooked.
Right.
So it's funny because she hates being inflicted with podcast shows, as you both well know.
Yeah.
And so she did the whole thing. Well, who picked this? And I went, me.
Said, okay, I'll give it a go. So, I trust you.
And then as it was going on, she still grumbled a bit, like. And then as I was going, it's your favorite TV show, isn't it? It's your favorite TV show. And she's going, it's not. I said, okay, your favorite TV show this year. It's your favorite one this year, this season. So on my wife's behalf, and because I'll wind up watching some, it's Thriller for me.
Okay. Sean.
If they keep with the pacing, yeah, I'm very excited about this. It's a thriller from me.
Okay. Mike.
Not a chance in hell to watch any one more of these. So filler all the way.
I see. Okay, split camp. All right. So
Were you thriller or filler?
No, it's filler.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, next up.
Did I tell you about how much I always respect your opinion, Steve?
Okay.
Just wait. Just wait for this to flip around.
Next up, we have our movie, which is The Messenger. This is a movie made in the UK, a British movie.
Stop it.
So this stars Robert Sheehan, who we know and love as Darren or you might hate him, in Love Hate. And Lily Cole plays his sister. So they're probably the people you'd know. Mm-hmm. He plays Jack, who's a tormented soul. And we know this because he doesn't wash, and he looks out over various landscapes with a look of wistfulness and tormented soulfulness. He sees dead people who've unresolved issues, of course, which coincidentally is very like our man's Jack's life as a whole. Really. Yeah. Lily Cole is his sometimes understanding alcoholic sister who's married to a subplot who's involved with another subplot or two. It's it's a movie that's slow, and I mean very slow. Very slow at the start, like glacier slow, and frustrating, and then it picks up, and it's just frustrating then. And, it's frustrating because there's so many subplots that are left unresolved, I guess, by the end of the movie. Like, you have so many questions. At the end, what happened to your man? What happened to the young lad and the other lad and your one who was in hospital? And who's that? Is that God? So there's all these kind of things. Now, granted, Jack, or Robert Sheehan, does very well with what he's got, but it does feel amateur with a budget.
Yeah.
It just, things didn't seem to flow. It seemed very disjointed or fragmented maybe or something like that. It just didn't seem, bits didn't fit.
Is that like a representation of his life and his psyche?
And there's actually that too, there's a lot of backstory, and they revisit the backstory quite a lot. And that's that's a whole subplot in itself. So there's another one. Is it Deirdre O'Kane playing his mother?
I thought it was.
I think it is.
I didn't check the cast list, but
Yeah.
it looked quite like her.
So
Roughed up a bit.
that's The Messenger. Mike, what did you think?
Oh, Steve. I thought Quantico was bad.
Oh, okay. So we know where we're starting from.
Then I saw The Messenger. I'm glad you picked up on the subplots.
Yeah.
There was one particular subplot that they actually ended up making into the spine of the movie. It keeps coming back to it over and over again, right through the whole course of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically Mr. Sheeran's relationship with his dad.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
Now, this is a story that could have been told in about 35 seconds.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
but they probably dedicated 15 to 20 minutes of the whole fucking movie on this, I
There's a bit of, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Enough.
Yeah.
Enough. We figured that out 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Just get on with whatever else you're going to tell us, And then there's the point of the movie. I'm still struggling to figure out what was the point of the movie.
Well, it's a bit sort of like, what's the name of that one? I See Dead People.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah, it's like Sixth Sense light, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like Sixth Sense without any
Editing.
good ideas or editing
or development.
or budget.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he has this gift/curse where dead people talk to him and they want to speak to the living. And he goes on and on and on and on and on and on about how much this annoys him.
Yeah.
And he's not into it and he doesn't want to help anybody.
Yeah. Because he keeps getting punched in the face
Yeah,
anytime
yeah.
he tries to, which is understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really
Yeah.
a great career choice,
No.
you know. But, you know, you would imagine there's going to be some kind of critical conflict where only his information can save the day.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really happen.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of glad it doesn't, though.
Well,
Because we'd expect that to happen because we've seen it many times before.
yeah.
And here he is going to solve the thing that does
Yeah.
the stuff, and
Uh-huh.
he doesn't do that.
Yeah, but he ends up doing nothing really.
Well, but that's the other fault.
There's
down.
no substitute.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, if he had
Yeah.
decided to do something else and, I don't know, invent a cure for cancer or something instead, fair enough.
Yeah.
But it just kind of bumbles along and then ends. And, you know, there's, as you said, there's all kinds of these twisting little subplots.
Well, it's the last 10 minutes,
Mhm.
or the last 15 minutes,
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it ups the pace. The pacing was all wrong. That's it. Actually, fundamentally,
Yeah.
that's what the issue was the pacing. But,
Yeah.
and the last 15 minutes stuff started to happen, and it happened quite quickly, and
Yeah.
you're following it along easily.
Yeah.
Whereas at the start, well, you sent me a text saying, geez, the first half hour, this is like 2 hours. Yeah, it's exactly it. That's exactly it. But the last 15 minutes, I thought, oh yeah, that's good, and that did that, and this is that, and that makes sense, and this is, you know. But then, again, at the end, you're sort of going, when it's finishing, you're going, well, but what happened there? You know,
Yeah.
what's going on? And what about this, that, and the other, and all those, you know, there's about, 8 subplots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good point, actually, Steve. You should send a text, a text or an email or whatever to the writers and say, next time you're making a movie, make sure some stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Preferably before 10 minutes from the end.
Yeah.
You know. The little fella.
Yeah.
He's got what would you call it?
nephew.
A nephew?
Yeah.
There's an interesting story
Yeah.
that they started.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did you see an end to that?
No.
No.
No, that was whole Sixth Sense in itself.
It wasn't I just fell asleep or anything.
No.
Yeah.
No. No, nothing happened there.
No.
No.
And
Jack and the young lad had a conversation, and then they moved on, and you're sort of, but
and you know the way that, like, there's a dead guy talking to him, and he has to talk to the dead guy's wife, and like relay critical information.
Yes.
That isn't really that critical.
Yeah.
What happened then?
That's the thing. I thought that was what the movie was all about.
Yeah, that's what the movie was supposed to be about.
Yeah. But
and then they just forgot about it.
yeah, and they concentrated on a completely tangent story.
Yeah.
That was interesting move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
then
I say,
and then in the last act, they decide to do a flashback to a time that we haven't had any preparation for. I think, what the fuck?
I would love to hear the Lenardi's opinions on this movie as well. Yeah, I think they should do it as homework.
Yeah,
because it's a very strange and like disjointed. It's such a strange construction.
Do you know when you used to be bold at school and the teacher would give you lines? that's like what watching this movie is like.
Yeah, I mean the only positive thing came out of it is really is Robert Sheen, Lily Cole, and Deirdre O'Kane. I hope it's Deirdre O'Kane. Yeah. Very good performances.
There was a lot of good clean dirt.
A lot of good clean dirt as well. Yeah, very good performances. I think they did as good as they could have with what they had. Yeah, but it wasn't a good movie.
No.
So, what would you give it?
I'll give it a charitable 4.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming into.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah, and actually, before I sign off, apart from all the plot problems, the setting is so relentlessly depressing. It's set in the north of England, in one of these horrible fucking post-industrial towns where everything's wrecked, and even the new apartments are designed to reflect the wreckedness of the old apartments that have fallen down around them. And grey skies constantly. Grey skies and red bricks. It's just hideous.
Yeah. So, definitely a 4.
Yeah, maybe even a 3.5.
You know,
yeah.
You wonder why movie stars who seem to have a fair amount of options, like Robert Sheehan, did make a movie with Nicolas Cage like in 2012 or 13 or something. Yeah. Like he's on a roll at least this side of the pond. You wonder why they pick the parts that they do. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm getting, I guess, like it seems like it could have been a good pitch to get him to sign on, and then it was just the execution that was the problem.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But also, one of the powers his character on Misfits had was talking to dead people.
Oh.
So I just thought that was like an interesting point. It's like a thing that might be in the background of his mind,
Oh, he's good at this. Let's hire him.
Yeah. Or maybe he just thought, I've done this already. I can do this in my sleep.
Yeah.
It'd be a laugh.
Okay, so the last of our TV is Limitless. Sean, do you want to tell us about Limitless?
Sure. It's been a couple of years since the events of Limitless, the movie, which starred Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper played Eddie Mora, who got hooked on NZT, an experimental drug that makes your mental abilities and capacities limitless. You can use your brain to its fullest potential and see things more clearly. Courses of action come to you more readily, and you just know shit. And in this, we have a young down and out, the people in his family think he's a bit of a shit. He wants to be a musician. He's not really that good. His life's kind of going nowhere. Through a series of events, he himself gets access to some of this drug and attempts to solve several problems in his own life, as well as a crime which occurs in this here pilot.
So he's a guy with special abilities that teams up with a detective? Yeah. Another one of those. All right. Okay.
Do you know, I was really liking this until that came into my head.
Really?
I was like, fuck this podcast. It's ruined TV for me.
It just ruins everything. So last week I talked about how Minority Report, a film that I loved, wasn't well represented in the TV show.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to see that turned around this week. So Limitless was a film that I also loved. And it seems that the spirit of that film was well captured in the TV version. So the whole the race against time, I suppose, or the race against biochemistry that was so to the forefront of Bradley Cooper's adventure in the film was again to the fore in this TV show. I liked it. One of the things that's a feature in most video games now is the gradual increase of power, right? The hero's journey repeated over and over again in various different media. And there was a lot of that in Bradley Cooper's portrayal. And it's in this as well. It's great that they picked, a very similar archetype to be the person who gets the drug in this. Like Bradley Cooper was a fairly lackluster writer, if I remember correctly. And, was plugging away, but never really going to amount to very much. And in this, our protagonist is a musician who is also on a steady road to nowhere special. Exactly. Until this drug comes along and changes everything. And all of a sudden he can do pretty much anything. And it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to see these completely luckless people made superpowered, so I quite liked that in the film and again the TV show. It's great to see Deborah Morgan, Dexter's sister, has gotten some work. Nina from The Fringe is in there. Saul from Brothers and Sisters, or he was also in Alias, playing the dad. And there's a couple of other cameos. I thought I recognized. Sorry, Sean?
Sorry, unnecessary correction. He was playing the bad guy, wasn't he, for Sector 6?
Yeah, he was, yeah. You don't have his name, no? The guy that was after
I don't.
Baldy, anyway, that was the fella. But, yeah, so there was lots of, alumni around the place from other TV shows that are good. So they have a strong cast. It's written well. Deborah needs to be allowed to curse more.
Yeah.
It was weird seeing her speaking regular English.
Yeah, I kind of thought she was a bit stronger in Dexter than this, but it might have been
a stronger character, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe it might have been the script as well. I just don't. I know
she's at her
better
best when
than
she's
this,
allowed to juxtapose strange words with fuck. You know?
Might be onto something.
You're nothing but an emergency exit. Fuck. But she's obviously not playing that kind of potty mouthed character in this one. But I still like seeing her on TV. She's a great actress.
Yeah, true. Sean, what you think?
So I screened this back. This was one of the pilots I got to see at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah.
And it was very well received, by me also. Like, I agree with Mark that they took a lot of the great elements of the show, especially the visual element, of how the world that we see changes, when someone is on NZT. It's brighter, you know, it's more crisp, it's more saturated compared with the dull, lifeless world that we all inhabit. Mm-hmm. And I liked, here, like, one of the cool things that I heard, the actor was talking about how they get that across through even more than visual effects. He has 2 sets of clothes for every outfit his character wears. One is a couple sizes too big for when he's playing himself not on NZT. And then one is perfectly tailored.
Oh.
Like, it's literally just like manipulating the audience, you know? I love it.
Nice.
I also like that it seems to have kept both the darkness of Limitless and the arrogant humor of the voiceover, and the various other things, going along with taking the drug, like when you're on the drug from the film as well. I think this is funny. Like, I actually really enjoyed many of the moments in this show. And I do think that it is aiming at something a bit grander than most of the special person and a cop shows. You know what I mean? Like, Lucifer had the entire canvas of Judeo-Christian tradition, Paradise Lost, some of the greatest texts of all time. And all it really amounted to was, I don't want to go be in hell. I don't want to be Lucifer.
Yeah.
And in Limitless, what we have is, what if you could do anything? What should you do? And that's great. I really appreciate, like, this show would never have happened if it wasn't produced by, like, one of the producers on this show is Bradley Cooper. It never would have happened if he didn't go, this is a great idea, it should be a thing. He's like putting time and money into this out of his own pocket. And I think it's a great idea. And I like that. Like, it really does seem, this is a show that I am excited about seeing more of. Cause even if they do like revert to a slightly more mediocre procedural for a lot of the episodes, there are going to be times in this, like in Elementary, when they strive to answer greater questions. You know, like one of the lines in this show from someone on NZT, which is accompanied by one of the best visual effects I've seen on TV, is, you know, why do people have to grow old? Or what if people didn't have to grow old? And the character who says that, their face, like, it's just, I really, really like that. And I want them to keep exploring, things of that nature. And there's obviously going to be like grand conspiracy, as well as like every week you got to figure some shit out. Like episode 2 of this is called Badge! Gun! Like, I'm just excited. Like, whether someone says that or gets those things, I'm excited. And I love addicts, man. Addicts can be really, really interesting when they do more than just take drugs. I mean, like, it's great. It's going to be really interesting to see him fuck people over so he can get more of this drug. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, interesting point about the conspiracy thing. There's bound to be like a faceless man somewhere in this at some stage. That, you know, or a faceless corporation or something like this, you know, that they're like a
man in an underground car park,
like the one-armed man or something like that. That
and
they
he
have
gets
to find
rugby tackled by Fox Mulder.
But I like the way they've the same setting as they did in the movie. You know, it's very cityscape, and it's a lot of you know, brickwork and warehouse apartments. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I like that it's stayed true to the movie. Let's say it's the same world, and the
parkour adjacent.
Michael,
Stephen!
What did you think?
How's she cutting? Well, within the first 5 minutes, I thought, oh, Jesus, no. Oh, Jesus. There's a girl detective and a guy, he's got some powers, and we just took the living piss out of that last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mercilessly.
Yeah.
How could I, in good conscience, enjoy something that we have just, like, laid ourselves on the line?
Yeah,
It's
we kind of
drawing a
did,
line
didn't
in
we?
the sand.
Yeah.
It's like we have no morals. There is no line in the sand.
What was the last? Oh, Minority Report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as if we will watch any old shite that they would put on TV. We keep coming back, Steve.
Yeah.
We keep coming back. And I'm really, really ashamed to come out here and say that I did enjoy this show.
What?
Yeah. There, I've said it. And I shouldn't. There's no reason. This should be a shit show.
But it's well made.
Yeah, and like Sean already covered, the visuals, they were kind of clever. The whole bright dark thing. And I didn't pick up on the size of the clothes, but I'm going to have a look out for that in other episodes.
Oh.
Steady. I liked very much so the way that they demonstrated his sudden awesomeness. It wasn't like jumping off the top of tall buildings or something. It was just a routine admin task.
Sorry, no, it was. It was.
What? No, that's a different part. Different part.
Bad example, Mike.
It was the mundaneness of his awesomeness that impressed me, because there were so many other things they could have done, and they chose this, and I really liked that decision, because it showed that you have an instant temptation when you get superpowers to go out and do super stuff. But what if you just do ordinary stuff super well? Wouldn't that be cool? You could have your whole day's work done like in 30 seconds. Yeah. See, Sean is talking about greater ideas of humanity and whatever. What if everybody could do their job in 5 seconds? That'd be cool.
I could probably do your job in front of
Whoa. I normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did like it.
Did
you? Against all the odds.
Why? No, really, no.
I like the way it's shot. I really like the way it's shot. I like the choice of the characters. I can in some way empathize with them. They're not too far out there that, I could never be in that situation or whatever. They've made it something that you can relate to, even though they're talking about something that's obviously ridiculous.
Okay.
Which is a difficult thing to do. And when I was thinking, or when I was watching it, I kept on thinking to myself about the original movie, like, you have Bradley Cooper. And then I thought, what if Bradley Cooper and Scarlett Johansson's Lucy had a baby? And then it went into space and found some aliens and blew shit up in Delta Quadrant.
Came back to Earth in a meteor.
Yeah.
And didn't like kryptonite.
That's right.
Yeah.
And beat the crap out of Batman.
This always, Limitless always reminded me of, a different approach to, John Travolta in, Phenomenon.
Mm.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, in Limitless, will they go and explore, or will they give them the telekinetic abilities that come with super brain power, as we learned? If movies taught me anything, if you've got fantastic brain power, you're bound to get superpowers like telekinesis, stuff like that. Move pens and buildings and X-wing fighters out of marshes, stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Try not.
No, it might happen. It might happen. Season 2. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I think there's going to be variations.
Oh, yeah.
Some people will be able to move X-Wing fighters.
Oh, I like that. Jeez, yeah, I might have to stick with the season now.
Yeah.
So you might get
will
like
not.
a bad pill or something.
Yeah.
But it might be mixed with something else and you might get different stuff.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Like, there might be one guy who can melt stuff. And another guy who can fly.
And they'll all get together, will they?
Yeah, and another guy with
Do a
stretchy
gang.
arms.
Yeah.
God damn you guys.
The fabulous four.
Me and Mark haven't mentioned superheroes this whole episode. You guys have brought them up individually and together, like 6 times.
I think we know who the real superhero fanboys are.
There you go.
Yeah, so, in conclusion, we'll come back to you, Mike. Mark, in conclusion.
Well, there's very little room on my TV watching list at the moment because there's so much good quality TV out there. But Limitless is going to make it. I'm looking forward to the next episode and I can't wait. Thriller all the way for me.
Cool. John.
Thriller. Agreed.
Mike.
An unexpected thriller.
Thriller for me too.
Damn.
Unless Elementary's back soon.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I like this. Yeah, I thought it was good fun. So, okay. Next up, we've got some previews. Come to Bicycle, near you. So the first one is Angry Birds. Mark, tell us about this.
Once there was a game that took the world by storm, and that game was about throwing birds to pop pigs. And you might think that they couldn't make a film about that, but you would be wrong. I give you Angry Birds. So this is the animated film of the iPhone game, which has since expanded to take over the world. Angry Birds 2 came out recently enough, actually. The trailer introduces us to the various characters that you will know if you play the game. But if you don't play the game, you will just be introduced to characters that are similar to most cartoon archetypes. And they show us the pigs who are going to be the bad guys.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, really. That's all we get out of this trailer. It's good, though.
Yeah, even removed from the game, like if you've never seen it, I think it's it could be worth a watch. It looks quite funny. It looks well made. They even got the feathery, furry, hairy thing going on, which is very impressive in the animation. Yeah. What do you think?
I just looked at this and I thought, thank God I don't have an iPhone. And thank God I don't have a 4-year-old who's going to make me watch this 25 times.
My phone was taken over when this was discovered, I can tell you. Yeah. Sean, did you see this?
Once there was a company that wanted all of your money, and now they're going to get it. I have no interest.
No interest.
At all.
No interest. Okay. So what did you think of the second one, Sean? The Lobster.
That one, so
Tell us
making
about
a
it first.
film
Tell us
about
about
a
it.
lobster,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good idea, but the politics as well of fishing in the coast off the North Atlantic.
You haven't seen this trailer, Sean, have you?
It's the socio-political. It's
No, it's not.
So imagine if you had a filmmaker who was extremely confused about the kind of film that he wanted to make. So he decided he would get some reasonably famous actors and then show them in a montage to try and convince you that they had meaningful dialogue. Then he foolishly shows you a couple of scenes where it shows that there is no meaningful dialogue anywhere in the movie. Then imagine he wasn't sure how to sell this film to the general populace. I give you the trailer for The Lobster. There's a confused trailer about a confused film.
You wouldn't be the biggest fan of art house movies, though. Really, would you?
Well, when you take confused films and label them art house, it doesn't make them less confused.
So this stars Colin Farrell.
The stars is in inverted commas.
Yeah. And
And his belly.
he's he's got a belly in this. He's signing into a home, it seems like, and he's got his brother, who's a dog, who didn't make it last time, he tells us. So he's asked during this trailer what animal he wants to be if he doesn't make it through whatever program he's on, and he says a lobster. So it seems this program is about meeting someone, and if you don't meet someone, then you become this animal. That's kind of what I'm gathering from the trailer, anyway. Yeah.
I think this is going to be a heartwarming, really touching exploration of the deep human desire to reach out and touch somebody, find a kindred spirit to spend the rest of your days with.
Wow, Mike.
Like a one-night stand, or?
No, like trying to find somebody to change your nappies when you're 85.
Oh.
Right.
Okay, you sold me. I'm in.
Do you want to, this is what IMDb tells us, right? In a world.
Back up.
In a dystopian near future, single people, according to the laws of the city, are taken to the hotel, where they are obliged to find a romantic partner in 45 days, or are transformed into beasts and sent off into the woods. I think that's what I said, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, more or less, yeah. So,
I think you did much better though, Steve.
it's got a 7.6 anyway. So, yeah, it's an odd kind of movie. I'm curious. I would like to see this. Deathly silence. No one else? No.
No. We won't be shellfish. We'll watch it.
Get
I
out.
hope that I never have to watch this or anything remotely like it. This is only a few subtitles away from Ida.
Will you see the sequel, Lobster 2, Pot Harder?
Yeah, it's definitely going to stick in Mark's craw. Fish.
Get out. Right. And the next one, or the last one, is more up Mark Street, I think, although it's got subtitles, is Yakuza Apocalypse.
Who put this in the list?
I did. It's got everything in it. It's got everything. It's a kung fu movie. It's a mob movie. It's a fighty movie. It's a shooty movie.
Tattoo movie.
A tattoo movie. It's a supernatural movie. It's a vampire movie. Mark, what couldn't you like except for the subtitles? In fact, I don't even think you'll need to know what they're saying in this one.
It's very Asian.
It is.
The movie.
Oh.
It is. It would be in Japan.
Very Asian. No, but there's a specific style of kung fu movies.
Yes.
From there that I'm not a fan of. So, in addition to the subtitles, it needs to be a very good. Like, I actually didn't like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which was, which swept the world essentially.
Yeah.
Even though I was hugely into martial arts at the time, because I don't like that style.
Right.
This seems to have a few things in common with it.
Fantasy fighting. Yeah, in fact, yeah. So this is
to a degree
made by the people who made The Raid and The Raid 2. Which I think we remember.
And I didn't like those films either.
Ah.
So what I'm kind of hoping for is it'll do really well. And then Mafia Apocalypse will be released in a couple of years. Starring better looking people and just more Western.
I see.
Apologies to all Eastern listeners, but that's just my opinion.
I kind of like the look of this, except for the vampires. I have an issue with the vampires.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the angle of the teeth is wrong.
Right.
That's fair. Yeah.
Most vampires will chaw down on you, rip your fucking throat out,
Yeah.
and then shit in your heart or whatever. These guys, because of the angle of their teeth, in order to tear your throat out, they would actually have to headbutt you.
Oh, they're sticking straight out?
Yeah.
Oh, they're spiky ones.
Yeah. They're spiky outy teeth.
Oh, yeah.
So it's more of a pneumatic action.
Right, okay.
Which I think could take away from the realism of the subject matter.
I see.
Just me, just saying.
And for those just listening, Mike actually did the action as you said it there.
I think about these things. It's a problem.
Yeah, I do kind of like kung fu movies.
Do you?
I love classic kung fu movies. I like Hong Kong kung fu movies. Jackie Chan, all that kind of stuff.
I'm not a big fan of Jackie Chan.
Jackie.
Like
You gotta love Jackie.
You gotta like Bruce, like. Bruce
Oh, yeah.
is the
Oh,
king.
yeah, he's classic, yeah.
Yeah.
But Jackie's got the choreography down, you know. And I think I'll like this. I'll have to have a look. I wouldn't be running away from looking at it, like, you know. I'd give this a now look. I'd say, yeah.
But here's the thing, Steve. Quick question for you. Would you prefer it if it was Korean?
I don't think it would matter, actually. I don't think it would matter, Mike. You're only in spitting distance of each other anyway. So that's it for this week. You'll all be delighted to know we didn't make the finals of the Web Awards, but sure, there's always next year.
Boo, hiss.
Yeah. We'll just actually have to invest some time and research and development to get to the finals. But we made the semis. That's a new high for us, which is pretty good. So we're all delighted with that, weren't we, Mike? Yeah.
Semi it all around.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I'm telling you, he's been walking around all week saying, I've got a semi. Right. So, we'll leave it there. So from Mike, Mark, Steve and Sean, stay classy.